more shot on that Tia. He could just save it. He could not
He
use the
can.
Tia. I
Yeah, but
guess
I mean,
he gets
this
two drones
breach.
out of it. That's not
Yeah,
enough.
but now there's a polywall. You know.
Man, those Immolites.
Well, to be fair, Crash is actually one drone ahead right now because he's got a
Yeah,
Trinity.
this Trinity drone.
Oh
And
wow,
here-
Arca going for a Tia of his own. Okay, this is going to be over in 3 turns, one way or the other.
Yeah,
He's got a stack of frostbites.
and he has a lot more damage than. Well, not really, not a lot more damage.
Well, now he's got no more frostbites. Crash has immolites.
But he's gonna breach. Well, he can't breach.
Seems
the
like Crash is winning.
I think Crash
Yeah.
has it.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
feel
Oh,
like.
there goes the Tia.
Yeah.
Boom. I thought that Arca was doing fine, and then he went Tia.
Yeah, I'm okay with Frostbite until you start getting more than 2 of them per turn, and then I hate Frostbite. That's what I've decided about the unit. Because it's actually just impossible to defend at that point. Like, you can kind of defend, but once your opponent's getting 3 or 4 at a time, it's just like you get breached in 2 turns.
Well, we got
Without-
Centrifuge.
So, is it going to be Centrifuge Bull or Centrifuge Golem, or is it going to be what they've been doing, which is Centrifuge Apollo?
Well, Apollo seems bad in this set because it
Yeah,
doesn't kill Bull or Golem or Trinity or Grenade
Yeah,
Mech.
I would get Bulls.
And then Arkanishu almost did it again, where he didn't get. He's not getting the Hannibal again, which seems so wrong.
Sniping the Animus.
Because all he needed was one Hannibal, right, to make this interesting. Like, if he had one Hannibal here instead of one of these Ice Blades, he would be able to just leave it back and defend.
No, he wouldn't.
Well, no, on that
On the first
first
turn?
turn, on the first turn
Yeah.
he could have.
On the first turn, Crash was freezing for 6, so he would have been 1 short of freezing the
Yeah.
Hannibal, and he was attacking for 5. But Crash obviously would have bought something different. He would have either gone full-on Hannibal so that he could attack for 7, or he would have gone full-on Ice Blade so he could freeze it.
Yeah.
I think Crash has it, though. He seems to be a bit ahead in tempo.
Yeah, and I mean, Crash, it's harder to get to 7 than it is to get to 6, right? So, and he has I mean, like, those drones are probably not dying on the back line, or if they are, they're dying slowly.
Yeah, this should be over.
Yep, there it is.
Hannibal too strong?
That's what you said.
Well, if it turns out to be too strong, then we'll just, well, we gave it sort of 2 buffs, so we can undo one of them. We can either reduce his HP by 1, or we can remove that 1 attack when it doesn't block buff.
Yeah, I don't like the 1 attack when it's blocking. Because then it just makes it so you almost want to always block with it. There's less decisions to be made. Like, I think it's an interesting decision whether to attack with it or not. If it's 2 attack versus 7 block, 7 defense. But as is, I don't think it's interesting.
Maybe.
Elliot's not sold. You gotta work hard on that sales pitch.
Try.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're saying is reasonable, but it still adds value to the unit in that you have to worry about your opponent attacking for 1 even if they don't block. So I think it's defending against them is maybe a bit more interesting. And I do still think there are a number of times where you want to attack with it. We do try to avoid decisions that are like, 90-10 in terms of one thing or the other. Like, usually we want decisions to be closer to 50-50 so they're more interesting. Do you actually think it's close to 90-10? Like, 90% of the time you want to block with it?
I never
Yeah.
swing. I never swing with my Hannibals purchased until they can kill him. That's kind of since the new Hannibals come out, but I could be playing it wrong.
I mean,
Well, these guys are swinging with them all the time, but you
I would-
contend that they are making mistakes.
I would swing if they like breach, and I would swing if I don't need that defense. Like that. Those are the 2 situations where I would swing with them.
We think that the defensive value is too efficient. But we might be the only ones who think that.
Well, it's definitely super efficient. Whenever it's absorbing, you're almost certainly defending with it. But a lot of the times, you're leaving it on defense, and it's just going to get killed, and
Well,
it's
yeah,
not going
that's
to
why I
get you
said that
extra absorb.
if you don't need it on the turn, it's going to get killed. That's why I said that would be the turn I would swing it on, right? Because I know it's going to die anyways.
So maybe what's actually true is in Ether Llama's games, 90% of the time he has a Hannibal. He's not getting attacked for 7.
He's just so efficient at getting his attack out that his opponent can never get to 7. That's what it is.
Well, I mean, when you rush him, your opponent really can't get to 7
See?
because you don't have to build any defense, right? Because
Yeah.
you have a Hannibal. So until your opponent gets to 7, you don't have to. So you're building only attack, and they don't get to 7.
No, as I said, I mean, I don't see anybody else doing this, but I really think that getting that first Hannibal up as quickly as possible is huge. But I don't see anybody doing it on ladder. No one seems to play a very aggressive Hannibal.
Well, I think what happens a lot is the sort of equilibrium timing adjusts. Like the default thing is people hate cutting drones, so they get something at whatever the timing that results in no drone cutting is. And then when people start to realize that getting something a little bit earlier is strong, it kind of shifts. It's almost like it's shifting the metagame, but there's no hidden information. But the choices that people make kind of shifts over time. And then people often overcompensate, and they'll try and rush out Hannibal too early, and they'll realize that they lose with it. And then the community discovers the equilibrium of the correct timings. And it may be that in sets like, say, this one, both players should get, aim for a turn 4 Hannibal or a turn 5 Hannibal. But I don't think you want to go for like a turn 3.
I'd rush it really fast. There's nothing that can be wrong with rushing it because there's like redeemers. So, well, I guess you have to get the
Okay,
conduit
but
too.
let's say you're player 2. Do you go for the turn 3 Hannibal? Like, you literally cut a drone on the first turn so you can blast Forge Animus on turn 2?
No. I
There's
think
Doom
that,
Drone, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah, maybe with Doom Drone you actually can. That's true.
I think that it's an interesting. So I really dislike Redeemer into Polywall, but Crash has not been defending it at all. So he keeps letting Arkanishu do this. Arkanishu's done this in at least 3 games, but he's lost 2 of them, or lost 1 of them where he went with this early Redeemer play.
I think it's pretty strong, but
No, I'm
Arkanishu
saying-
attacking for 5 into a Polywall, it's kind of lame.
Yeah.
It's not very
Whenever that
strong.
happens to me, I work really hard optimizing my turn, and I hit double space, and then my opponent polywalls, and I realize I'm threatening 5. I always just feel so dumb.
Yeah, you're like, why couldn't I eke that extra damage out, or I should have built a Tarsier instead
I
of
don't
this.
I don't mind it if my opponent like takes their entire turn to polywall to absorb 5. I mean, because then you can just usually, kill it for 6 the next turn, so it nets out, not that much value. And they had to over defend that turn, so I don't really mind it too much.
It depends on how it plays into the whole flow.
Yeah,
But a lot of the times it's like if you give your opponent an opportunity to make a really efficient play when you could have just got a Rhino instead of a Tarsier, it feels kind of low.
Yeah.
And here the Doom Drone Polywall Nombo,
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
the Plexocell Polywall is actually working because Arca's attack for so much that the Plexos Absorb is relevant. I think those Redeemers are good. Crash is about 6 drones ahead though.
Yeah, but Crash has to defend for so much right now.
The thing is, Arca can't afford to like Plexo and Polywall every turn, whereas Crash can. And the amount of efficiency Crash is getting out of being able to Polywall Plexo is pretty significant.
Yeah. Those are 2 of the most efficient defenders in the game.
He has 3 more turns of, or he has 1 more turn of. Oh no! He has many more turns of being able to do it.
He only has 1 more polywall left after this turn.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There you go.
When Crash gave up, I think he was out of Polywalls.
Yeah.
He had one more.
He had one more, but why did he resign? I I haven't seen him resigning early all day.
Arkanishu got out too many Doom drones. He had to concede.
Doom Drone's OP. I think we looked at the stats and we looked at Doom Drone games since Doom Drone has had 4 lifespan between players where both players were rated like 1800 and higher or something, and there weren't that many games because it's only been a couple of months. There's not that many players above 1800, and to have both of them in the same game with a Doom Drone is not that common. But there were, I think, like a few hundred games or something, and I think that player 2 bought Doom Drone in all of them, and player 1 bought Doom Drone in like 98% of them, something like that.
Yeah, I think that with good players, if Doom Drone is in the set, it's almost always gonna get bought. And I mean, I always try to exhaust it if I can. It's just so good.
It's not that good against Cry, right?
Correct. It's
Or
not
like
good against
Ice Blade or
Shiver Yeti, even maybe if you only have 1 or 2 expiring per turn.
Okay, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah,
Even if you just always work with it, it's still pretty good. It's just not
No,
like
I don't think it's that good.
better
I
than
think you have to block
Engineer.
with it.
You think you have to? I mean, it's better. Elliot's saying it's better than an engineer, which is probably correct.
I don't.
Like
see how
I
it's
no,
better
I
than
said
Engineer.
it's if blocking with it is bad, then it's not better than an Engineer.
Oh, gotcha. If blocking with it is bad.
Yeah.
So Crash here's got the Oride cores, and he's exploiting Arkanishu's lack of granularity on defense, which is always fun times. So here he's going to attack for full to destroy all the engineers, and Arca didn't buy any more engineers, so now he's again going to be starved on granularity.
So he gets the Arca here.
Yeah, so quick guys, how many Oride cores does Crash use? One more. Use 1.
Yeah.
No, 15.
He
Attack
needs
15.
he needs -3.
He got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He spent a second or two there. His time bank was ticking down. He's in the
Yeah.
red now.
There you go. There's so much damage from his Sinestras, but still, with the
Crash has
Arca,
got 2 drones left.
yeah, with the Arca, the defense for Arkanishu is pretty easy. It's not, but he doesn't have any green to defend with. He's just defending with blue. His wall supply is perhaps an issue. He's out of walls.
He's got 1 energy matrix left.
Yeah. This could be tight.
A lot of these situations, I feel like instead of going, say, triple engineer, you should go engineer conduit with the intention of force field next turn. Because a conduit is so much better than 2 engineers late in the game, because it's if you sort of look 2 turns in the future, it's like, would you rather have a drone and a gold in the bank, or would you rather have a conduit? And most of the
that's
time,
exactly what it is.
most of the time you'd rather have a conduit.
So you're always if you, towards the end game you buy the conduit instead of the engineers if you don't have one. But what if you have one already? Would you invest in a second conduit before you invested in engineers?
Well, I think it's often correct. Wow, Arca lost his Arca.
Yeah, which is
Yeah, it's not
probably the end of the game.
You realize Crash has been just defending with the gold off of his Oride cores.
Yeah.
That was pretty spectacular play. Like, Crash pre-bought a lot of his defense, and Arca sniped out his drones. But then switching to Orides for the clutch defense to win the game. That was actually a pretty impressive game by Crash.
Yeah, especially considering the time control.
I didn't even see a turn where I felt he made an error.
That's why I said, so if you actually watch the stream and watch his clicking, it's phenomenal. Like if you sit here and when I initially started casting, I was casting off of the stream because it was just fun to watch Crash. Now I'm casting in game, of course, but
Okay, so Crash going drone engineer on his second
Yeah, he's
turn so he can
rushing
get a turn 3
centrifuge.
centrifuge. So what do you think he's going to build with the centrifuge? They're both just
He's
droning
going
up.
Ice Blades with
Ice-
his Amberilla, which is interesting.
yeah. But it looks like
He's going conduit. He's
yeah,
threatening
so he's
Tia.
going to get threaten Tia and Sinestra.